I closed my eyes and said a Hail Mary. Down the near sideline for Drew Pearson. Pearson makes the catch at the 5. Touchdown! Once you believe it. When I threw it, it was a little bit underthrown. He caught it on his hip. And Drew was just a great athlete. I mean, he made big plays. Of course, Nate Wright kind of slipped. If you're a Minnesota fan, obviously, you think there was some pushing, but Drew just made a heck of a play.
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here, and we brought the football gods down here. I got to tell you, one of the greatest things that I have beside my wife and my kids and stuff is this piece right here from Joseph Heatherly. This right here is Dallas Cowboys royalty. Shout out to everybody who's here right now. I just felt like I needed to do a video, a live stream today because Anna Thomas, thank you for becoming part of the Joe Boo Sports Report, being a member. Make sure you email me with your address so that way I can get you your shot glass out. Joseph Heatherly gave me this. This is a collectible before there were such things as collectibles. See, when I grew up, it wasn't NFL.com because there was no .com. It was not even highlights on a regular basis like ESPN. You had to wait till Sports Illustrated came out on Friday and actually look at a magazine. Everything was different. But Joseph has had this since '77, and this is the Dallas Cowboys. This piece right here, I am so blessed that normally rests right up here, but I had to bring this down because we have Randy White, the Manster, Hall of Fame. Mel Renfro, defensive back, Hall of Fame. Cliff Harris, announced today, Hall of Fame. Cliff Harris, safety. Harvey Marvelous Martin, not a Hall of Famer, but Charles Waters, not a Hall of Fame. But of course, we have the man with the funny hat, Tom Landry, Roger the Dodger, Captain America, Captain Comeback, Tony Dorsett, Hall of Fame, and Billy Joe Dupree, a tight end. But the one that we are focused on right now, is Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson, you cannot think about Roger Staubach and the rest of these football gods without thinking about Drew Pearson. The original 88. James, I probably did. Email me again, and I'll look it up and with your address, and I'll look it up and tell you when it's coming. Okay, I got out yesterday. This whole list right here of shot glasses out yesterday. Just about had the post office go postal on me. I mean, from JJ, Jason Garrett, Roy Stayhill, Akeem Smith, Elizabeth, Robert Perez, Alfredo Morgan, Hector Vargas, Randy Sykes, Steve Poe, John Leslie, Randy Massey, Douglas Carter, Jacob Garrett, and we got Jason Garrett, Gino Gonzalez, Chris Cantillo, Louis Racha, Edwin Singleton, Devarius Morris, Roger Frazier, Jay McCaughlan, Leslie Airy, Jeremy Houck, King Views, Richard Yancey, James Nooks. Oh, James. There you go, right there. It went out yesterday. It should be in your hands tomorrow. Norleen Davis, Chris Canmore, Carlos Barnes, Donald Miller, and there's a few more that just came in that I'll be going to the post office tomorrow. Y'all are killing me, man. The post office, when you go there and you spend like $200 and like shipping, you would think that the people at the post office would be happy that you're actually sending packages, because I thought the post office was actually losing money. You figured, oh man, you're coming in and bringing all this stuff. No, they don't care. Yeah, but if they go out of business, I thought they were trying to run a business here. Okay, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm buying American. I'm building American. I'm trying to help America. And you just get. Yeah, Jason Garrett is more than just. He's actually putting his money where his mouth is. So I appreciate that. But anyway. Okay, Mike. I see Mike's over here trolling me now. Okay. But here we are. I got to tell you, football is different today than when I grew up. Football was totally different. When you hit, you got hit. And Drew Pearson, with that Hail Mary, was incredible. But it was more than just the Hail Mary. Understand that it wasn't the passing game that it is nowadays. Understand that these receivers got molested when they went down the field. And what I want to do, because this is like a momentous time right now for the Dallas Cowboys, because, my son, unfortunately, he has not seen, he was too little to remember when we won the Super Bowl. And most of you guys, I know we got a lot of people in here who are older like me, that we've been around and stuff. We're like a fine wine. We're turning into vinegar. But it was a different game back then. And what I want you guys to do is, I want to play this clip. I don't know if it'll get demonetized or shut down or whatever, but I want you to look at the 77 Dallas Cowboys, my football guys, the guys when I was 12 years old, what it was like.
From the very first day of training camp, Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys set their sights on a goal 28 teams dream about, but only one would realize: victory in Super Bowl 12 and the World Championship.
The coach, if he's to be successful, must think about improving his football team constantly. Everybody can't have a goal in the Super Bowl because it's out of people's reach. Now, once you reach a level that we're at right now, then the Super Bowl does become within reason for us to accomplish it. So, therefore, our minds are occupied with the Super Bowl right now.
Of the 113 veterans, rookies, and free agents, only the hardy survived the relentless, leg-burning two-a-day practices.
2 a days where they were actually hitting. You don't see that shit no more. Complex Cat, welcome to being a member.
It is a long, lean, and limber team. And one observer was so amazed at their physical appearance, he remarked, "Dallas looks in shape to play the Super Bowl right now." How prophetic his words were to become. By summer's end, just solidly muscled, flat-bellied athletes made up the roster of the Dallas Cowboys. In September, 45 players, 9 of them rookies, embarked on a devastating journey that would lead to New Orleans. When you search for the home of champions, the road leads to Texas Stadium. For more than a decade, the Cowboys have been the winningest team in pro football. In 1976,
Many said only the lack of breakaway speed cost them a world's championship. So now, why were there smiles? Even Tom Landry tried to muffle his delight, for he possessed the worst-kept secret in football.
Roger hands it on to Dorsett, into the secondary, to the 30, 35, to the 40, catch right, watch out! To the 50, the 40, he's to the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, Tony Dorsett, touchdown!
The addition of rookie Tony Dorsett not only gave Dallas 2 Heisman Trophy winners in its backfield, but added a new dimension to an attack that always has been diverse and unpredictable. Under the don't
Roger
give up
the Dodger
leadership of Roger Staubach, the Cowboys gained nearly 6,000 yards and scored 345 points.
I want to stop there for a second. 6,000 yards in 14 games. 14 games. I sure love his ads. I don't know what you mean, Cavis. That's ads aren't put on by me. The ads are put on by YouTube. 6,000 yards. And understand what Tom Landry said in there. You must constantly improve. You must constantly get better. See, the Dallas Cowboys, we used to be innovators, okay? We used to innovate. We used to come up with this stuff. Watch some of the stuff, some of these plays that are going on in here, where you'll see play action. They had a great running back, but they had a great receiver. They mixed the ball up. Things that we did not do under Jason Garrett. Look. Boom. There he is, 88.
Dallas ranked first in the NFL in total offense and was
there he
miles
is.
ahead in imagination as they pinwheeled through their schedule, leaving opponents dumbfounded and defeated.
Damn. What I want you also to notice on this, when you, I'm sorry, I literally have, look at this. I got chills. This is literally taking back to my childhood because I get so excited. Take a look at how many different people you see in here on this offense scoring. It's not just Tony Dorsett. It's Robert Newhouse. It's the tight ends. It's the wide receivers. The ball went everywhere. It was death by 1,000 cuts. It was innovation. It was them doing the snap as we went down to set up for the offensive line. It was the quarterback in the shotgun. It was using the fullback. It was using Tony Dorsett. It was going deep. It was Roger Staubach. It was hitting you everywhere. And I'm going to ask you as you continue to watch this clip, have you seen anything from this Dallas Cowboys team that you saw this year like you did there? Watch. Look at that.
Despite the retirement of Blaine Nye and a knee injury to All-Pro Rayfield Wright, the offensive line became a strength. First-year starters Pat Donovan and Tom Rafferty combined with John Fitzgerald to form an Irish core, while Herbert Scott, Burton Lawless, Jim Cooper, Andy Frederick, and mainstay Ralph Neely rounded out the unit. Low-slung powerback Robert Newhouse looked like a beer barrel, but ran like a beer truck.
700
and gained
yards
over
that
700
year.
yards.
Tony Dorsett, 1,000 yards.
Versatile Preston Pearson, number 26, proved invaluable as a starter and indispensable as a situation specialist, for he ran the finesse plays to perfection. Doug Dennison, Scott Laidlaw, and Larry Brinson added depth to a horn of plenty, which spilled to overflowing with the 1,000 yards of Tony Dorsett, the NFL's Rookie of the Year. There was an abundance of skilled young receivers. Tight end Billy Joe Dupree ran the heavy-duty patterns at the goal line, while the perimeters of the field and the deeper probes spiraled to rookie Tony Hill, Golden Richards, and Butch Johnson.
Y'all don't know nothing about that. Don't know nothing about that.
Cornerbacks covering Drew Pearson smelled smoke and found fire. Despite double coverage inside and out all season, number 88 gained more yards than any receiver in the NFL.
Look at that. Look at that.
About defensive backs, Drew said, "I try to know them better than they know themselves. If they play me close, it might rain touchdowns." Dallas led the NFL in both offense and defense. Hard evidence that supported Landry's contention that this team was potentially his most devastating. From the opening whistle, the Cowboys disposed of 8 straight opponents and then cruised to a 12-2 record and the championship of the NFC East. Important psychologically was the 2-game sweep of the arch-rival Washington Redskins.
Kicking that Redskin
they had not
ass.
achieved since 1970. They entered locker rooms only twice a beaten team. And the reasons for the flood of victories are many. The Cowboys are always the most prepared team in football. By Sunday, Landry and...
Wait a minute. The most prepared team on Sunday. How many times have we gone out there and said, did this team seem like they were ready to play? Did they seem like... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
And his staff left nothing to chance. From starters to special teams, plays are honed to the
Special teams? Are you talking about special teams?
Here comes the rush. He fumbles the ball. Giants pick it up and head right. Now there's another fumble. Jay Selby has it. Goes in toward the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys!
Number 87, Jay Salvi, captained the special teams. Punter and reserve quarterback Danny White, all-pro place kicker Efren Herrera, and hitters like Mike Hegman, Guy Brown, David Stalls, Bruce Huther were among those responsible for the Cowboys' success. Middle linebacker Bob Brunig replaced retired Leroy Jordan, and that gap in experience was filled by Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris. Unlike most deep defenders, these...
Okay. Football was different when I grew up. Now, when you're talking about safeties, Charlie Waters actually was originally a cornerback, and he was getting burned. And most people thought he should have been cut, but they put him at safety, along with Cliff Harris, 2 guys that would not be, you would not think were very quick, and they weren't. But when they came, they were like linebackers. And when they hit you back in the day, you went down. Keep watching, friends.
2 All-Pros did not tiptoe into tackles, but acted as 2 additional linebackers in Doomsday swarming defense.
Boom.
The philosophy of the unit was coordination. Number 25, Aaron Kyle, covering receivers deep, while old pro D.D. Lewis buttons up the hook zone. They led the league against the run and were ball-hawking opportunists. and you found Benny Barnes, Randy Hughes, or Harris. Throw short, and Thomas Hollywood Henderson turned the play 79 yards in the opposite direction. Starters like Henderson and reserves like Mark Washington and Mel Renfro were the reason the Cowboys allowed the lowest pass completion percentage in the NFL.
Lowest pass completed percentage in the NFL.
Up front, too tall, too mean, and a manster lived right alongside Bill Gregory, Larry Cole, and Jethro Pugh. Just turn them loose and kiss the quarterback goodbye. Twisting, looping, stunting, and blitzing, the Cowboys racked up 53 sacks and turned passing situations into one big nightmare for offensive linemen.
Yeah. Okay. What I wish, okay, like I said, this is not our normal live stream and stuff, but this has to be a special edition because congratulations to Cliff Harris as well as to Jimmy Johnson, well-deserved, make it to the Hall of Fame. Maybe they looked at it and said, look, we got 2 Cowboys going in. We can't go ahead and have, 3. I mean, come on. We just can't do that. And maybe it'll be next year that Drew Pearson gets in. But it's in a travesty that he's not. I know his numbers aren't like, incredible out there. But you got to understand. Think about this, though. He led the NFL in 77 in reception. 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, has one of the most iconic plays in NFL history. As Roger Staubach even put it, I didn't throw the ball very well. It was behind him. He had to stop, reach back, get this thing, and this was a Hail Mary to win the game. And it's just, as great as it was to see Jimmy Johnson find out that he's going in, it was the polar opposite and tragic for him to sit there in front of the world finding out that he didn't.
They broke my heart. They broke my heart. And they did it like this. They strung it out like this. I'm sorry.
That was some bullshit. That was some bullshit right there. You don't... Yeah, it's just wrong. But, Byron, I'm with you, man. I wish it was like those days again. I think that every single Dallas Cowboy player out there, all these guys that think, we the hot boys, and everything else, are thinking, give me a break. I had a good play. Give me some time off. They need to look at that. Because the reason we are the Dallas Cowboys, the reason that we are America's team is because of what guys like Drew Pearson did out there. Not for money, mind you. Mind you. You weren't getting paid shit back then. Most of these guys had jobs in the offseason to survive. But they went out there and they kicked teams' asses. Understand that this team used to be innovators and lead the NFL. That when these guys came out, they put fear into other people. They didn't talk. They didn't name themselves. They got the names for what they did on the field. They had heart. They had guts. Something that has been missing from this team. You can look at almost every single thing you saw in that clip and compare it to what you saw this year, and you can say, oh, no, we didn't have that. You saw the coach not satisfied, understanding that we must constantly improve. It doesn't matter if we were great last year. We got to get better this year. Understand, it wasn't just about having the offense that led the NFL with 6,000 yards. 6,000 yards in a 14-game season. Understand, they understood special teams were important. That special teams you had to have. Understand, they had a defense that took the ball away. A defense that smothered the opposition. A defense that it wasn't just one guy making a tackle and everybody else standing around. It was everybody flying to the ball to knock that guy out, to make sure he went down. You saw excitement on the sidelines. I've seen none of that with the current Dallas Cowboys. And I think that every single one of the Dallas Cowboys players right now need to go back and get educated, because when you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. You may have that star. You may be a Dallas Cowboy. You may be now part of the lineage of the Dallas Cowboys, but you, my brother, you don't know shit. You haven't paid your dues. You have not done what they did to make the Dallas Cowboys. And when you don't understand that, when you don't live up to those ideals, you desecrate that star. And that's the way I feel about it. I get chills when I watch the highlights, thinking back about how everybody hated the Cowboys just like they do now, but it didn't matter because they were coming in and they were going to take care of business. Nothing was going to stop them. Akeem Smith, how you doing? Raymond, how you doing today? Zeppelin fan. Now, back to, you were saying Tony Dorsett was overrated, but he didn't break tackles. It's true. He didn't have to. You know, when you can go 99 yards, which is a record that will never be beaten, on Monday night against the Minnesota Vikings, when you only had 10 men on the field, you didn't have to. Hello?
Mark?
Yes?
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Who's this?
It's Victor.
Victor, what do you want?
I just wanted to talk to you because I feel bad.
You feel bad. Victor, you feel bad. No. Wait. Victor, you feel bad about what?
Hang the phone on that motherfucker.
No, I think things just got taken out of context. Like,
Hang up on that motherfucker.
I was just trying to be like a gentleman. I think things just got taken out of
hang up on him.
context.
Hang up on him.
You know I'm on live right now, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're a attention whore, aren't you?
Just hang up on that motherfucker. Excuse my language,
I wouldn't say
live.
that. I wouldn't say that.
Then why would you call me when I'm in the middle of my show?
Because he wants the attention.
Because I just wanted to talk to you.
Victor, you got some growing. I don't know what is up with you, man, but you're a strange bird, dude. Every time there is have you just not understand how you deal with people in relationships and things like that? I'm not trying to be an ass or anything like that, but it seems like whenever you see a woman, be it Katie, be it my daughter, be it any woman in the world, you go crazy on. Women don't like stalkers.
Look, I wouldn't go as far to say stalker, but I
Oh,
would just say that.
okay. Maybe you wouldn't, but let me tell you, they do. Okay, they do.
Well, that's their business.
That's their bit. No, it's because, listen, they don't go around saying every guy is a stalker. It's the ones that creep them out that do. Okay, the ones that kind of say, okay, yeah, you ask one time, hey, can we go out sometime? Sure. Or when you just kind of continue to go over and over and over and over again, dude. Listen, that's not the way you get a woman. It's kind of, let me give you an example. I'm a construction worker, okay? I do construction, okay? Just listen, Victor. I'm trying to give you some tips on life, buddy. Listen, How many times have you seen a hard hat, a guy wearing a hard hat, all dirty from doing construction work? Beautiful woman goes by and he says, "Hey, mama, how you doing? Shake that thing, huh?" How many times has she said, "Oh, let me go out with you"?
I actually have seen it happen.
You've seen that happen? Okay. Well, was she a lady of the evening?
Yeah, she was a freak in the sheets and a lady in the street.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But see that. You know what?
Let's just hang up on him. I don't even know why he gave that time.
I just this.
See, this guy.
Victor. I don't know what it is, but it seems like whenever you're around, people get upset, and strange things always seem to happen. Okay, but listen, I got to get back to my people up here. Okay, all right. I appreciate you apologizing for what you were saying about my daughter and things. But see, you've gone through a couple times, like you've gone through and said things about my son. You know what I'm saying? My son. And it's kind of like I've given you multiple opportunities to change, okay? When Katie Calls It used to be out there, you used to go through and, do all kinds of things, and you would get blocked, and then you would beg, "Please, let me get back. Can I get back?" And this, that, and the other. And, I would...
No, you know what? Katie started it with me.
Oh, okay, all right. Victor, bye-bye. I'm sorry, everybody, but, Victor has got some things going on, so to speak. Victor, I can't say that it's Victor necessarily that's doing some of these things, but we had this whole thing where Joseph Heatherly was trying to help out somebody he thought was Victor. Victor says it wasn't him, it was a fake Victor. But then we had heard that he had committed suicide and all the, it was just kind of like, and we were all kind of going out there like, oh my God, this guy, and things like that. And then yesterday we get, my daughter's kind of like, "Who's this guy Victor? Because he's kind of creeping me out." And I tell him that he's creeping out. And he's like, "Oh, she's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants." It's like, dude, she's saying you're creeping her out. Okay? Understand, you're creeping her out. That means she's not interested. You're not taking that, what she's saying. But anyway, be that as it may, my screen over here has froze up on me, so I can't see the comments. But Victor, like I said, Victor, I pray for you, buddy. I want you to get yourself together, and I want you to have a great life and things like that, man. But, I can't have nonsense on the channel anymore. In fact, I want to actually, let me see if I can. This is sometimes I get stuff that really makes you think about what you're doing. I'm trying to make some changes myself to be a better person. YouTube has been fantastic. I love doing YouTube, and right now I wish I could see the chats in front of me. But Daryl Wilson sent me an email last night, and it was one of those, hang on for 1 second, hold on. Let me reboot the computer over here. This is one of those things that I need to do is I need to actually upgrade one of the computers over here for the stream because it's an older computer. I dream of having, like, I really and truly want to build this thing out to be an incredible studio. And I'm going to, at some point, be able to really get this thing together where I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But we're working on it. But Daryl Wilson had sent me this email this morning. Daryl's a great fan of the channel and stuff. Let me read it to you, Lisa. Mark, me and my grandson, 8, Darren, love watching you on YouTube show. The other day he asked me if it was okay if I used some of the colorful language that you used. I explained that you use the language to emphasize your points, and sometimes some of the subscribers and viewers need the harsher language to emphasize your points. He asked me why it was wrong for him to use the same harsh language. I explained that he was too young and that viewers had a choice to listen or not to listen to your YouTube show. He said he chose not to listen anymore because he thought your harsh language was rude. I explained that he was too young to use that type of language. He said as much as it hurt him, he could no longer watch and listen to me on YouTube. I'm not complaining. I just thought you might like to know some of your influences that you have on all audiences. So, it's point taken that you really need to, I got to do better. I sometimes lose my cool when I end up having, idiots out there that come in and want to troll me and things like that. And that's why I always say that, listen, I don't want personal attacks on this channel. It's not about, being a trash talking site. Okay, there's plenty of places that we can do that elsewhere. There are 8-year-old grandkids. There's wonderful ladies that come in here. And I know some of you aren't used to dealing with women, Victor, but we do. And this is more about talking real sports and things. I understand if you want to trash my team and all that. But listen, we had a great fan, Maui, chased off because of somebody else going after her and things. And I've had other people that left. This is meant to be a family. And most of you guys are like family to me. And I want to keep it that way. So I'm going to try for this year to do better and watch my language a lot more. Okay? So work with me, okay? Don't please. If you want to go in and cuss somebody out, and do stupid stuff, by all means, you don't have to be here, okay? And I'm trying to get my chats back up so I can get back here, but I'm waiting for this old-ass computer to finish rebooting. So, Daryl, I appreciate that. Tell your grandson that I apologize and I'm going to try and do better so that way he can watch. Okay, let's see. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we? Come on. His computer's so old, it's got vacuum tubes on it. Oh,
I see a super chat, kind of, and I missed who that was. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Raymond, and I've emailed her a couple of times, and Akeem, I know there's a lot of crazy people that do come on here, and it's a free country. I mean, everybody's allowed to come on, but it doesn't mean
you don't have to give them attention like that Victor mode.
So you're done with Dak. They just reported they turned down $33 million a year, bro. You're not a top 5. Just okay. How about wait a minute? Okay, Nathan Hall. I don't mean any harm, but Kirk Cousins wasn't a top 5 quarterback when he was the highest paid. Am I wrong on that? Was Derek Carr a top 5 when he got paid? Was Matthew Stafford a top 5 when he got paid? Was Carson Wentz a top 5 when he got paid? Was Jared Goff a top 5 when he got paid? It's the nature of the beast. And it amazes me how much somebody else gets mad about how much somebody else is making. In my business, okay, I do construction work. It would drive me crazy when I get a big job, okay, and I would go through and I'd hire this guy and all that stuff, right? And I pay them what they want, but then they'd be mad. Well, you making money. What, are we all supposed to make money? Well, look, I don't care how much money the guy ahead of me makes, as long as I'm making mine, then I'm okay. I'm okay, because the reality is if the guy in front of me ain't making money, then I ain't got a job. So you're mad that he didn't take the same money as Jared Goff. Is that what I'm hearing? You're mad that he didn't take the same money as Jared Goff, who right now is stealing money. Is that what I'm supposed to get? And understand, see, this is where people are so short-minded. The salary cap goes up $10 million a year. That's 5% a year on average, and it's about to balloon up. Okay? So the money that you're looking at for last year is in last year's dollars. And the contracts, when you looked at Kirk Cousins at 28 and everybody's like, oh my God, Kirk Cousins getting 28? That's ridiculous. He's not worth it. Now you look at how you look at it now. Well, damn, I wish I could get Dak Prescott at 28. Because you know what's going to happen? Pat Mahomes, you don't think he's going to get 40? You don't think Pat Mahomes is going to reset the market? You don't think Deshaun Watson is going to be over 35? That's the way it's going to be, buddy. That's the way it's going to be. Everybody is, look, Jacoby Brissett's at 27. And the Dallas Cowboys have $87 million of cap space right now. 87. And for all you keep saying, oh man, just franchise tag, franchise tag. Guess what? Franchise tagging is going to cost you more money on the cap this year than it would getting him a long-term deal. But that doesn't matter, because the reality is if Dak Prescott gets a deal for $5 million, people are going to say he's overpaid. Understand that he is miles behind a Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. He got $4 million in his whole career. $4 million in 4 years. I'd say he's at least, on average, I'd say he's about $40 million in the hole in comparison to what these other stiffs are out here making. Matthew Stafford was the highest paid. Matthew Stafford. And what has that guy done? So, but whatever. Everybody's entitled to their. Jacoby Brissett's number for this year is $27 million. Yeah. And is Jacoby Brissett anywhere near what Dak Prescott is? Has Jacoby Brissett put in anything in comparison to what Dak Prescott has done? But anyway, you're right. Thank you, Ryan Kirk. This is about Drew Pearson. It's not about Dak Prescott and his contract. In fact, everybody, actually, let me go ahead and do this, because I don't know if you guys are work. I don't know if Q's in here, but Q might be someplace taking a shot right now. I'm worried about Q.
I might be saying that.
Yeah, true. Where is it? There it is. Let me shout out everybody who has helped support the channel. I've got to reload a whole bunch more pictures, but here we go. And the biggest question I got to ask you is, where is your restaurant in the airport?
It's at Terminal E, near Gate 5.
Okay, because we came in this morning, man, I could not find it. But
it's down by Terminal E, Gate 5. There's a Skylink right there, so no matter what terminal you're in at DFW, you can get there. It's accessible via the Skylink, and come in, get there a little early. You know how you brothers like to show up late. Get there a little early and check in for your flight. Find out where Terminal E. If your flight's not in E, get on a Skylink, come on down and have a Hail Mary, Bloody Mary at the Sports 88. Hut.
So what I'm actually doing is I do YouTube here, and I've got my fans have a few questions for me. So the first one was, how was it when you were trolling the Philadelphia Eagles at the draft?
No, it was just a spur of the moment type thing. You know, I knew what I was going to say, but I didn't plan on saying it that way. I was going to take advantage of the national TV time and say a little more than go up there and read Chidobe Awuzie, the 60th pick in the second round, especially after sitting about 2.5, 3 hours in the green room waiting for your turn to go up there. So I knew what I was going to say, but the Eagle fans, they picked on the wrong guy. You know, it don't take much to motivate me in that kind of atmosphere. And when they started booing and started talking noise, actually what I tried to do to maintain my composure was to look for Cowboy fans in the audience. And we had a ton of fans out there. Were you there?
Yes. Okay. It was crazy because we were in the front row.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was looking right at you.
We were screaming, how about them Cowboys? And we couldn't hear what you actually said.
Because
we
were
were
too
just,
close,
it was like a mosh pit yelling and everything else. And everybody kept saying, did you hear what Drew Pearson said? And I was like, no, we couldn't hear anything. And then I got back, I was like, oh my God.
And then you heard all the boos and it getting louder and louder. You knew something was going on.
You started the whole trend now. Because now everybody's
the thing is, they're trying to match that, but you got to match the atmosphere. That's what created the presentation. You know, when you have 32 teams represented like we did at AT&T for the last draft, you know, you get up there and try to, get fired up. You're only firing up 32 people, in the audience. So it was the atmosphere that lent to the presentation. And so I don't know if they could ever duplicate that. But if they duplicate that, then somebody might be able to duplicate the greatest draft speech of all time.
There you go. From Bill Bates, one more question for you. How does it feel to come back 13 points down with 4 minutes to play in the final game of the 79 season against the Washington stinking Redskins and get the #1 seed?
Well, anytime you beat the Redskins was very special. And the reason is because most of the time we were playing for the NFC East title and right to go to the playoffs and that type of thing. Our goal always was to win the division title. And when George Allen came there, we had a run for the title, but when George Allen came there, he started giving them what they needed to compete. And they did. And then Dick Vermeil comes to Philadelphia, and now they got what they need. Same guys on both teams, but just different culture, different coach, different leadership made a difference as far as their performance on the field. But anytime we beat the Redskins, man.
88.
Clinton Longley, Roger Staubach, Danny White. It don't matter who's throwing the ball. Just throw it to the original 88, and you got time for 6.
But one last question for you.
Wait.
Your beer's getting hot. Okay, we got to hurry this up. With the rules changed the way they are now, how many more catches do you think you would have had?
Oh, man.
Light it up, boy.
I mean,
light it up.
Well, I don't know how many more catches, but here's the deal. You'd probably have to come to Huntsville. You know what Huntsville is all about? The prison? I'd be in jail because I would be illegal, all right now. Y'all would have to come. Y'all would have to come to Huntsville to interview me, because with these rules today and these sorry cornerbacks that can't cover, I would have been down I-45. Y'all would have had to come see me.
You heard it from the original 88. Before there was a Dez Bryant, before there was a Michael Irving, this man.
Malcolm, come rescue me, man.
Woo! I'm Mark Holmes. Thank you very much. Oh, my God, man. Listen. Okay, it's 4 o'clock, man, okay? Drew, listen. We, Cowboy fans here, Old school fans like that know that you are a true professional and a true Hall of Famer. So get your shot glasses up and raise them for Drew Pearson, because he is what the Dallas Cowboys always were and should be. And there's Law Nation right there in the house, man. Law, you got to get your shot glass, man. You got Law. Give me. I need your address, Law, so you can get that shot glass. But Drew, this one's for you, man. It's a damn shame that he's not there, man. But that right there, guys, that's what it means to be a Dallas Cowboy player. You leave everything on the field. You leave no doubt. You go in there and you kick ass, take names, and don't ever give up. And I have hopes that we can get this feeling back. I'm telling you, when I watch clips and I see these guys, I literally get goosebumps. Man. It's wonderful that we got Jimmy Johnson and we got Cliff Harris. We need to get Drew Pearson. Law, I need your help. We need to get all of us together. Law, Vash, E2, Cowboys Nation, My Cowboys Family, Foots, 1980, all those. All of us need to get together and push getting Drew Pearson in the Hall of Fame. You're right. It's a shame that Darren Woodson, but see, Darren Woodson, you know, there's still plenty of time, okay? Darren Woodson, you know, we're just scratching the surface of the 90s team. We're talking about a cornerstone player right now in Drew Pearson. So, with that being said, y'all, some of us need to go back to work. And I appreciate everybody who's been in here. And again, keep on pushing. Keep the name out there. Make sure you guys get vocal about how this is a travesty. It's the only way that we're going to open up people's minds. Because a lot of people, you know, you think that football just is what happened in your lifetime, you know, that little window, the last couple of years, this 25 years. But understand, Big Game James too, you're right. You got to understand the totality of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, the Eagles, they can pound their chest that, oh, yeah, we won a Super Bowl and stuff like that. But you're talking about Cliff Harris, guy going to the Hall of Fame that was in 5 Super Bowls. You're talking about, look at this. I want you to think about this team as I talk about, thank you, Joseph Heatherly. This team, Randy White, the Manster, Hall of Famer. Mel Renfro, defensive back, Hall of Famer. Cliff Harris, now a Hall of Famer. The marvelous Harvey Martin, who in a 14-game season had 23 sacks. That was before they actually counted sacks as a statistics. Charlie Waters, multiple All-Pro safety. Tom Landry. Do I have to say anything? Do I have to say anything? Tom Landry. Roger Staubach, Captain America. He was the Dallas Cowboys. Drew Pearson, who should be up there with the rest of his brothers in the Hall of Fame. Tony Dorsett and Billy Joe Dupree. 77 Dallas Cowboys. One hell of a team. So, with that being said, y'all, it's time for us to turn out the lights. Because this party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.